Assalamu alaikum. Now today what I'm going to show you is making a template for a chooridar. Okay, and the advantages of having a template for a chooridar. So here what we've got is what you'll require is just a spare piece of fabric that's 45 inches in width and about 1.5 yards in length. Now this one, just imagine it as a 1.5 yard because it's cut at an angle, but disregard the angle cutting, because what we're going to do is we're going to fold this sort of 90 degrees, like almost into, we've got the lines on the table, so you imagine it that it's level on the line along here, and then we're going sort of in line all the way down to the other end, and then this piece over here we're going to fold over. And the reason why we're cutting the template is when you have a wider width fabric, it's a big problem cutting out chooridar in wider, and you tend to always get it wrong. So what we have here is the length, and we're going to cut this bit off and mark it out and use this, and this is the bias cut that we're getting once it's angled out. So you imagine this was all the way through, and this piece of fabric is going to get cut out. So then we're going to use this template obviously to cut. So this is the bottom opening. Here we've got the crotch. Now if you, depending on how long you want your chooridar, you can, and also how well fitted you want. You've probably seen me do the trouser-like cut, and you can do the trouser-like cut, or if you're like quite conscious of a very loose fitting chooridar, loose fitting versus the very fitted, I would say a loose fitted is a lot better in certain respects because it gives you more room to sort of move about. Okay, and this is basically the thigh area. Now depending on the sort of size of your thighs and so on, that's the kind of measurements. If you measure, we are going to have a belt with this, so this is a standard size, and the length of this type of chooridar, you can have it longer, but the length, and I think this is generally, I think this is adequate. So what I'm giving you is the standard version of a chooridar, and you can always length this. This is 52 inches. So when you're talking with the belt, you've got 58 inches easy. Okay. So what we're going to do is and this is going to be the standard template that later on we're going to be using for majority of the cuts. I mean, you could go a little bit further if you want, and then it's going to have two pieces either on the front or the back, whichever way you decide to have them, and opened up, that's what this looks like. Okay, and what you want is from this, then you want two exact identical pieces cutting out of the chooridar, and that's it. You know, and you can cut those out on the open rather than folding, which is very difficult for many of us. This is going to just make the job a lot easier. Don't you dare.